Hi, so I want to share with you, since I've been switching off from a demi-permanent to a semi-permanent, kind of just thinking about like having more of that gray blending, and not only that, but kind of like on the fence about going full on just my natural, just with the gray. So as you can see in the pictures, this was my before of me just recently coloring my hair, retouching it. So I did it with the semi-permanent the last 2 times. And I noticed that it was 8 weeks. And honestly, I could have gone probably another 2-3 more weeks before coloring it, because it didn't look that bad. It was like they were there, but it wasn't very noticeable. It was really well blended, and I didn't have that harsh line of demarcation. So I did color it, had events, whatever, and so I recolored it, and it looks really great. It looks super natural. What I really like about this is the grow out. Not only is the grow out giving me more time in between each touch up, but it's how it's growing out. It's that in between time, 4 weeks later, it still looks really great. It doesn't look bad at all. And I think it's because we're not lifting your natural. There is no line. There's like that border line of like the white and then the dark hair or whatever color you have, right? So I think that's what it is because as it's growing out, it's fading out. So it's really soft, it's much more blended, and it looks more natural. And so even 6 weeks out, you're like, wow, it doesn't look that bad. So as I've been talking to the ladies, to all the women in my chair, the one thing that I have realized, it's not really the gray that bothers us. It's the grow out, because after 4 weeks, you see that harsh line of demarcation from having the permanent, and it makes you feel like, ugh, it just gives you the ugh feel, I don't know. That's like the best way of putting it. I don't know if you have another word, but, or another sound, but I think that's what it is. And I'm kind of curious to know, do you hate seeing them? Do you hate having them? Or do you prefer to have them more naturally blended and not be where it's just kind of part of your look, your hair look? Like, I'm kind of curious to know what you're all thinking. Like, how do you guys feel? Because I mean, there are some of us that we don't want to see them. We don't want to know they exist. We want them covered, and we don't want to even know that they're there. And 2 weeks later, I want you to cover it when it starts popping out. But then there's some of us are like, well, no, I mean, I don't really have time for every 2 weeks, and I don't want to be worrying about them being popping out in 2 weeks. So we kind of like prefer like having something that's a softer blend, a softer grow out, something that can work with us. So I'm kind of curious. I want to know how you guys are all feeling about your white hair that's starting to grow out, or if you are kind of going through that line of demarcation and you kind of want to be like, oh my gosh, is there a way to like go longer without having to feel like I have to get it done every 4 weeks? So I really want to hear from you all. All right, well, I'll see you guys in the comments. Bye.